Hi, it's Bev Code at the Rubber Buggy. I am going to be shaping and forming flowers without coloring them, and some with and some without stamping. These processes are easy and I'm going to share with you. So to start with, we are going to start with colored paper, and for these first ones we are going to be stamping them to give them the design that we are after in a flower. When making flowers, you either need 2 to 5 different layers and sizes, and you might as well be stamping and organizing and doing the number of sets that you're looking for. I am going to be stamping 2 or 3 sets, and then we will be doing the die cutting and we will go from there. So my flowers I'm working with today are red, and I am stamping them with a brown ink. Next up, we will be die cutting. I happen to have an electric die cutter and I absolutely love it. For those of you that don't, then you will use whatever hand cutter you have to do the die cutting. For those that don't own either, you could be stamping and fussy cutting the flowers yourself. It's a little more work, but you will have the same result in the end. Take the finished die cuts then and peel them apart, and you are ready to form your flowers. The next process is to lightly spray the backsides of the petals so that we can shape and form them to adhere and be a little firmer as we are working. The flowers I'm working with right now are going to be either 2, 3, or 4, 5 layers, and also I'm going to be mixing them from all the same layers, staggered, some with 2 layers down, 2 up, and the final and third one is to form a real firm tight bud in the center. All of them look absolutely amazing, and in a cluster on any project they will look amazing. As you can see, the process is quite repetitive, but once you get the hang of it, it goes that much faster and it is easier, and you will form your own unique techniques for getting your flowers to shape and form into the styling that you like. Experiment, have fun, and just remember, do it lightly, do it firmly, and try not to rip the pieces. As I continue to shape the flowers, so we have, say, 3, 4, 5 available to put together. Remember, the smaller they get, the thinner that the little petals are, and that makes them just that much more delicate. Just firmly push and they will form as easy as the big ones, just a little more delicate and a little smaller. When you have these all done, we will now work on layering the fabulous fun flower petals from the back side to the front. It's the easiest thing to do. Just take your shaper and, using the big ball end, firmly push into the center to give it a hollowed out V center. Do the first couple, and then we will put the 2 of these together. You will be gluing just a little bit on the back side where we have that concave section, and it will fit perfectly into the larger one. Make sure that the petals are altered and staggered to give the flowery effect that you like. If you need to use your stylus to push all the pieces together from the center, just be sure to push down firmly and hold it for a few seconds. We are now adding the first of the little ones, and it will be firmly put in the same center, into the same center core, and you will be trying to also stagger the petals the same as you did on the first 2 layers. For this last little one, we are going to try just something a little different. Often I do the stamen in the center through all 4. It is so tiny to work with, this little one on the top, that I am twisting it, folding it over, and I am going to pierce and put the stamen into the very first little one on its own. And it should be easier to handle when it's just one piece versus all of them. You pierce it through with your piercer. It's very tiny and very awkward, but you'll get it. Just be careful that you don't pierce your fingers and everything else while you're doing it. If you have trouble getting the stamen in, I've even put it on the end of a tweezers and used it to help push so that it goes through. Once you've got it started, I like to add just a touch of glue up where the little beaded stamens are, so that once it hits into the center, when I pull it down, this glue will help hold it in place. Just gently pull that it holds up to the top. I then turn it over to the bottom, and I also add glue on the back side at the center so that it will stay firm and won't be moving on you. I'm going to lay this down just for a second, if I can get it off my fingers. And now I am going to pierce through the balance of the layers. The most difficult one was done already, and we are going to do the same process and try and slide it through the rest of the layers, adding the little one to the bigger section of the flower. On the bottom again, we are adding the glue so that things will stabilize and hold that centerpiece with the stamen in. And I also add glue to the length of the stamen string at the back. I either use that to help hold onto the page we're working with, or I firmly press it down onto the back leaf so that it will hold and nothing will fall apart as you're creating and working with it. Here is my finished flower, and I have some others on display here. Here is the photo of the finished flower that I have been creating in this video. So now that we have all these beautiful flowers ready and layered, I am going to just add little dabs of glue to the top, to the edges, or to the petals. And you just have to do it very lightly, and it doesn't have to be anything consistent. Just dab enough of the glue, because once you have these all done, we are then going to add some glitter. Now I am using Lawn Fawn chunky glitter, and we will be dabbing it on top of these flowers. If you take notice, I have a white sheet of paper underneath. We are going to sprinkle on top of the flowers, and you might get too much and an excess will also fall onto the paper sheet. We'll use that to collect any of the excess. When you've done the flower, you will turn it over and shake and tap until the excess falls off. The same process is then used on each of these flowers. Like I said, shake it on, the glue will grab what it can, the excess will fall onto the paper, tap and turn the flowers so that any of the extra will fall off. And the white paper is being used to collect the excess glitter, as we don't want to use more than we need. One last flower. Turn and tap. Now we are going to take the white paper and you're going to make like a funnel paper, bending it, tipping it, and pouring the excess into your container. Here are the flowers that we have made. They look absolutely beautiful. And now they have the sparkle to accent them perfectly. I have not addressed the issue of leaves. Some of you may already have purchased ones, but if you have dies to cut and form your own leaves, then we will mist the same as we did with the flowers, and we will use the stylus, and we will also use the same process. Using the stylus, we will firmly draw a line down through the center and also outward motion to the side to give you both a center and side veins. Each of the leaves will be done the same, and you will just use soft, firm strokes and form all kinds of leaves of different sizes and shapes. In the pictures you are viewing right now, I want you to also notice that the flowers and the petals do not have any stamping. They were die cut out of one single color of paper, which means you could use any color at any time to change up the color of your flowers and also the different shades of green for your leaves. Thanks for joining me and have a great day.